it's Emily and this is going to be my recommendations for SCRIBD. So I have found SCRIBD very useful over the past couple of years, but especially more so now that like my library's closed and stuff like that. So I thought I'd do a video. I also saw Becca do it, showing my top 10 favourite books or series that can be found as audiobooks on SCRIBD for free. There'll also be a link down below of how to get a 60-day free trial instead of the usual 30 days. So let's get on to my first recommendation. So number 1 on the list is Christina Lauren. I haven't actually personally read any yet. I have some to read soon, but I've saved them all to my library. But a large number of Christina Lauren books are on SCRIBD, so like Autobiography, Roomies, The Honeymooners. They're all available, at least in the UK anyway, on SCRIBD, so definitely check them out. They're definitely for light-hearted contemporary romance, I think adult romance read, stuff like that, so definitely go check them out. Next up is Truly Devious and that whole trilogy. All 3 of them are currently out on SCRIBD. I've only read the first one, but I really did enjoy it, and it's a mystery thrillery kind of book, but it's a YA one, but I definitely recommend it. It really had me hooked, and yeah, I can't explain how much I recommend this book. So the third book on my list is Red, White and Royal Blue. The audiobook is available, and this, oh my goodness, is probably the book on this list that I recommend the most. It was my book of the month for January. It just took me by surprise at how much I loved it, and to be honest I shouldn't have been so surprised because everyone's raving about it and everyone loves it, pretty much. I hands down fell in love with it, so I really hope you do too. And I definitely recommend Red, White and Royal Blue. This is a romance, an LGBTQI+ romance between the first son and a Prince of England. So the 4th author on this list is actually Agatha Christie. So I've only got a couple of my favourites here in my hand. Pretty much every single Agatha Christie book is on SCRIBD as an audiobook. So for example, And Then There Were None, this is one of my favourites. Murder on the Orient Express, the ABC Murders. But what's also cool is that they're all read by, most of them are read by Hugh Fraser, who played Captain Hastings in the TV show. But then also bigger ones such as Murder on the Orient Express. They also have people reading it such as Kenneth Branagh and David Suchet, who played Poirot in the TV show. So I hands down recommend binging Agatha Christie's. They're never more than like 7 or 8 hours long, so they're quite short. I can often read them in a day sometimes, so yes, definitely go check out Agatha Christie on SCRIBD because they're all pretty much all available. No matter, I've never not been able to find an Agatha Christie book, and I've saved loads to my in my saved section, so go for it. So next up is the Jo Watson Burning Moon series. So I only have the physical copy of the last 2 in the series with me, as I've actually lent my other one out to a friend because it is so good, but the first 3 are on SCRIBD as audiobooks, which is how I consumed them for the first time. So they have Burning Moon, Almost a Bride and Finding You, which I've loved. Those are the only 3 I've actually read at the moment. I'm planning on reading this one very soon. It's now sunny out, so I might enjoy another romance. Like I said, this is a romance. They're all kind of travelling. They can be read individually and not in the same order. However, there are some spoilers for the earlier books if you don't read them in order. But yeah, these are kind of like travel romances. That all starts off with something going wrong and then jet setting off somewhere and falling in love, that kind of thing. So if you like that kind of cheesy, those kind of romance books, then I definitely recommend them because I had so much fun reading them and I read one of them in a day once, so highly recommend. So next on my list, I think this is the 6th book on my series on my list, and that is the Red Rising saga by Pierce Brown. Every single book in this series is on SCRIBD. They start from Red Rising and end up at Dark Age, which I have just finished reading, which is why I've got this out from the library. Really enjoy it. It's a sci-fi, but it's all in the future. There's like a class system, I guess. So it starts with golds at the top and silvers and higher colours all the way down to low colours but red. And this is about this guy, Darrow, who's a red, and he kind of wants to overpower the system. Highly recommend if you are into kind of dystopian sci-fi books. I really loved it. It's got a little bit of gore, especially to, further you get into the series, but yes, I had a lot of fun reading them, and especially in the last two books. So with Dark Age and Iron Gold, they both have multiple perspectives and they are read from different points of views and different actors. So that's what I also enjoyed, was having like 4 or 5 different voice actors. The next book is also kind of a fantasy, I think. Yeah, I read it a while ago and I have not continued the series, but I know everyone seems to love it, and that's Nevernight. Nevernight trilogy, everyone seems to love it. I do plan to continue it, I just haven't got around to it as there's other things I'd like to read quicker. But I did enjoy Nevernight, so if you definitely like fantasy, then definitely check out the whole trilogy. They're all on SCRIBD, so definitely go for them if you like kind of alternate kingdoms, that sort of thing. I don't know how to explain Nevernight, but yeah, I borrowed it from the library and I did enjoy reading it. So the 8th book series on this list is the To All the Boys I've Loved Before trilogy by Jenny Han. Once again, all 3 of these books are available on SCRIBD, so do go check them out, especially if you've loved watching the Netflix films and thought, you know what, I'll give the books a go. Definitely go check them out, as they are not that long. They get shorter as well throughout the series, so I definitely recommend reading them because they're just so full of so much love, and I had so much fun reading them. I read them over summer and it was just perfect, and it was really just what I needed to get me reading. I just can't recommend these enough. Definitely check them out. It's not like you're going to read it and be like, well, I knew this was going to happen, because there are some points that obviously they missed out in the film, so definitely recommend trying these. So the 9th series on this list is the Every Heart a Doorway or Wayward Children series by Shannon Maguire. These are very short. I've only had the physical copy of this one, but I do have read all except the most recent one, Come Tumbling Down. They're literally like 3 to 4 hours long. They're so short, but they are really good. So if you just like a quick read just to increase your stats or just to like have some fun, definitely check out this series because you can read them in like short episodes. Like I said, 3 to 4 hours long maximum, and they're just quite fun to throw yourself into another world. It is a fantasy, don't really know how to describe it except that it's kind of about a schoolish place for children who have kind of gone through a doorway and found themselves in another world, and then it's kind of just their stories, or they're all kind of individual stories, and it's not like one continuous one. You kind of need to read the first one to understand what happens in the others, otherwise you might not get it. Recommend these for short reads, just to have some fun, really, some crazy little fun. And finally, the last author on this list is Adam Silvera and books like They Both Die at the End. I have not listened to this yet, but they have this, Infinity Sun, which I'm planning on reading as well, and a couple other audiobooks that are by Adam Silvera. So I have read some books before. My most recent one was More Happy Than Not. They do have these all as ebooks as well. They have more ebooks than audiobooks for Adam Silvera, but I am looking forward to delving once again into the world of Adam Silvera, as I've heard so much positive stuff about him and everything that he writes about, so I'm very excited to read these, hopefully next month in my next TBR. Who knows? So that concludes my list of 10 audiobook series and authors to check out on SCRIBD. Don't forget to get your 60-day free trial, and yeah, I hope to see you soon. Let me know if you do read any of these, because I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you soon with probably another video, hopefully. Bye.